Hey, it's Lee for On Your Marks Wrestling, and I'm here with a Smackdown review for April 24th. We start the show with The Miz. Comes down to the ring for a Miz TV episode. He says that with the birth of his daughter, he let go of all the animosity he felt towards Daniel Bryan, and then he says, I would expect Daniel Bryan to do the same thing with the birth of Birdie, but I guess they don't have the relationship I have with my daughter. Something like that. It was pretty good. He calls for Daniel Bryan to come out. Bryan doesn't come out. Instead, we get Big Cass. Cass says that he's annoyed that Bryan got all the attention when he came back because he came back at the exact same time as Cass did. Miz kind of cuts into Cass saying it's a what have you done for me lately kind of business, and he asks him, what have you done? And then Big Cass does a good job of shutting him up, and he gets really riled up. He calls Bryan ordinary, says he looks like the person who should be tiling his bathroom floor or something like that. He says that Daniel reminds him of himself when he was a kid and he was a small person and no one cared about him and he got beaten up all the time and he deserved it. And then he says he didn't, eventually gets to a point where he says he didn't need to work the indies like Bryan did because he's tall and he's educated and he's really good looking, and kind of was a little bit of comedy there. He vows to never let Bryan cast a shadow over him again. I thought that the callback to his childhood and stuff gave it a little bit more of an edge, this thing. Cass came off really kind of scary in this, and I thought that was perfect. I thought it was a really good promo by Cass, and I really enjoyed that little bit that Miz cut into Cass too. It was pretty good. It felt a little bit like the when he attacked Bryan. We cut to the back and we see that Bryan's down and he's kind of down and out and he's grabbing his arm, so clearly he was attacked. Come back from commercial, the Iconics are in the ring. They talk about how great they look. Peyton Royce does a Becky impression that Billy Kay sells as the greatest impression of all time, kind of following what they've been doing with Charlotte. They use the transitive property, and I like that WWE recognized it was transitive property, to determine that they are better than Asuka because they beat up Charlotte, who had beaten Asuka. That sets up a match between the Iconics and Becky Lynch. I'm going to go to the next page of my notes. Look at all these notes. It's crazy. Lynch takes quite a bit of damage. It starts off with kind of the faces doing okay. But then Lynch takes a lot of damage when the Iconics kind of double team her. Asuka runs in and she kind of runs wild for a while. Then Becky Lynch gets bumped into Asuka, knocks her out of the ring. And then Becky Lynch, Billy Kay tries to interfere. Becky Lynch gets distracted, and Peyton Royce sends her into the ring post from the apron. Then kind of sneaks her into the ring, pins her with her feet on the rope, gets the assisted pin, the cheater's pin for the win. It wasn't the most exciting of matches, but I've seen worse. So then Renee Young's in the back, and she meets a happy AJ who says he's facing Nakamura tonight in a 6-man tag. Renee asks him if he knew who his partners were, and he said yes, and it's going to be Too Sweet. So we realize it's the newly moved Good Brothers that are going to tag with him. That's good. If they're not going to be with Finn Balor, they better be with AJ. Those guys need to be kind of repolished up as stars because they're capable of it. They're very funny and fun to watch. We get a video package for Cien Almas. Fine, we need to introduce him. I would have liked to have seen him this week, but so be it. Then we have the Usos backstage kind of talking, and Naomi shows up, and Jimmy says, like, you know, I get why you did what you did last week, but please don't come out to the ring tonight. And she says that she saw nothing when she looked into the Bludgeon Brothers' eyes. She doesn't make him any promises. But Jimmy kind of assures her that his brother Jay is going to be there for him. So we get a match between Eric Rowan and Jimmy Uso. At one point, Uso's pushed off the turnbuckle and lands into the barricade. Rowan kind of runs him over and then gets him into the ring, puts him on his shoulder as if he's going to do a power slam or something. And Naomi's entrance hits, and everything kind of goes dark, and she does her dance moves, and it distracts Harper enough that Jey Uso is able to kind of take out Harper, and then him taking out Harper distracts Rowan enough that Jimmy Uso is able to hit a super kick on Rowan and get a kind of sneaky roll up on him, surprise him, and get the pin. I like that they're using Naomi. I like that they're using the relationship in a storyline. I don't know if this was the best way to do it, but I don't know. I'll take anything different at this point. That's fine. So then we have Renee Young in the ring, and she introduces Carmella for the official signing of her Backlash match contract against Charlotte. Carmella grabs the mic away from Renee, says that it was disrespectful that she introduced her, the champion, first. She also is upset that the crowd didn't give her a standing ovation after her video package that she showed last week. So she says she's going to show it again, and this time the crowd's going to react the proper way. So she shows it again, and again the crowd does not react the way she wants. They actually boo her. So she says, that's fine, I'm going to do it again. We're going to keep doing it until you get it right. So she puts it up there again. It's kind of reminiscent of the Kurt Angle thing from a while back. She puts it up again, it starts playing, it gets to about the halfway point, and Charlotte's music hits and interrupts. Charlotte is acting super calm and collected. She's not reacting to anything Carmella does. Charlotte goes into the ring, and Carmella starts kind of showboating, showing her belt, doing all this stuff, and Charlotte just stays completely calm. Eventually, Renee is asking Carmella to be a little bit more professional, which I thought was kind of an interesting thing. Eventually, Carmella sits down. Charlotte grabs a pen. She signs her name, and then she just screams a woo right into Carmella's face. Carmella shows the belt and starts kind of bragging, and Charlotte grabs her head and kind of tries to push her down to the table. Misses, but that's fine. Then kind of shoves the table into Carmella, and Carmella's kind of left sprawled out, and Charlotte walks out. So she kept her calm throughout, but she was just kind of holding it in until she could let go. Dasha is in the back. She knocks on Nakamura's dressing room door. Aiden English answers and just says, no interviews. We have Shelton Benjamin waiting in the ring for a match. Jeff Hardy's music hits. He's coming out. And when he's about halfway down the ramp, Randy Orton's music hits. And Hardy knowingly goes, okay. Because the same thing happened last week, but with Orton coming out and Hardy kind of interrupting. Orton gets into this match. It's a pretty competitive match. It's not bad. At one point, Orton fakes throwing Benjamin into Hardy, which is the classic, the champions at ringside throw someone into him, make it a three-way kind of deal. But instead, he does his announce table thing where he just kind of tosses the guy up with a side suplex and essentially suplexes him onto the table or releases him onto the table. That's fine. Hardy's kind of walking around the ring when a masked man takes out his knee. The masked man tries to escape, but security forces him into the ring. He gets into the ring. Orton grabs him, rips off the mask. It's revealed to be Sunil Singh. Orton hits an RKO on Sunil Singh, gets pissed off at him, starts talking about him, and then he gets surprised by Benjamin, who hits a pay dirt and gets the win. So now we've got kind of the Mahal thing going on, and Benjamin gets a win, so now he's kind of a player. I like this as a setup. The match was, but I kind of like the setup. New Day are backstage. They're celebrating the launch of the Book of Booty. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a real thing or if it's a joke thing. The bar interrupts, and they say that competition doesn't stack up and make reference to pancakes. This was kind of a nothing promo. Styles and the Good Brothers, too sweet together backstage. That's all we kind of really get. Fine. We get a video package for Sanity. I can't wait till they show up. Again, them and Almas, I'm not sure why they're not there this week, but so be it. I'm hoping they'll be there next week. Renee is at the trainer's room to interview Daniel Bryan. He comes out. He says that He has a match with Cass at the Greatest Royal Rumble, essentially calls him a coward for the attack, even though he says he didn't see Cass do it. He says, I got attacked from behind. So yeah, they have a match at Greatest Royal Rumble. That's about it. Samoa Joe cuts a promo on his Intercontinental Championship opponents and then runs down Roman Reigns. There's almost nothing said in this promo, but Joe's so good that it still sounds cool, so I'll take it. And then we get the final match, which is the Good Brothers and AJ versus Rusev Day and Nakamura. English does a little kind of rap intro thing again, or poem intro thing. I like it. I like it when he does that. Nakamura's song has been changed. He now has lyrics. It's basically kind of a crappy rap over his song. And Graves says he basically did that so that the crowd stops singing along to his song. Gallows has a nice little run at one point. So this match goes on for a while. But Gallows kind of runs wild near the end. But there's a secret tag to Nakamura. At one point, Gallows is kind of on his knees looking outside. Nakamura Kinshasas him from behind and gets the win that way. As soon as he gets the win, though, and he starts to kind of walk away, AJ Styles attacks him. Styles gets in a lot of stuff, but Nakamura low blows him, as he's been doing lately, to gain an advantage. Styles is just ready to take the Kinshasa, but Carl Anderson jumps in, dives in, and takes the bullet for him. Eats a Kinshasa, and then Shinsuke goes, might as well hit him again, so he hits him with a second Kinshasa. I like the whole diving in front of the bullet thing. I always like it in movies, I liked it in wrestling, I like it in everything. I thought this worked great, showed a unity between the Good Brothers and AJ. Nakamura has become a great heel. In not very long, I think he's become the best heel in the company, so it all works out great. This episode of Smackdown, yesterday's Raw was really rough. I thought this was quite a bit better. It wasn't amazing, but anything was better than yesterday's Raw. I'm going to go ahead and say it was a 7.5 out of 10. The wrestling was, some storylines were advanced. I don't know. If things overall kind of made sense, I'll take it. So 7.5 out of 10 might be a little strong. Maybe it's more deserving of a 6, but I'm pretty sure I overrated Raw yesterday, so we're saying 7.5 out of 10. All right, thanks for watching.